I'm not sure if you've noticed already, but today we're gonna stay with the cat theme and my typical art journal page, a little bit grungy. Hi everybody, it's Asia Marquet here, Lemon Creation, and today I'm doing art journaling. I thought to myself there was a lot of watercolors lately, let's change it a little bit. And I am picking up in my box of DIGI files the cuts which I put in my shop quite recently, I think at the beginning of this week. And those are DIGI files. I cut them out already because they are so cool. I managed to get, I think, two A4 size pages full of cuts, and I cut them to the size for ATCs or art journal pages, and they are absolutely cool. And they are gonna be my companions today in this video because my cat, my real cat, decided to actually spend time with my children instead of me, which is good because lately he's been annoying me a little bit sitting on my desk. And I already done these ATC cards, which are waiting for grabs. Those are gonna be added to your orders. Over €50 order will get a card like that, ATC card. I just wanted to show you because I absolutely love the cards. They are so super cute. And you don't have to do a lot to make cards like that, just a little bit of stain of color and words and a little frame. And you may have seen these cards already in one of my recent shorts, and if you didn't, you can have a look. It's in the tab shorts on my YouTube channel. Very quick, how do you call it? Very quick tutorial on how to make ATC cards. And I'm gonna work on the watercolor paper, and it's been a long time also since I worked with the art journal in form of a kind of a landscape, so with a horizontal type of paper. But the thing is that I've seen this cat, which is just right here, and I thought that because he has only a neck and the head, and the neck is so long, it just works perfectly with a long card, and I decided to twist the card and use it as a vertical type of page. And now I am just outlining the head of the cat because I decided to make Catstein. I call it like that at the end because I kind of make it like, you know, like a wild, crazy scientist, a little bit like an Einstein. So I just put those two words together, cat and Einstein, and it just made Kahnstein or Catstein rather. And I'm using Lindy's gang sprays for a change. It's been a while. I'm trying to alternate as much as I can the products I'm using, so you know you can find things in my videos which you probably have at home. So like that, I am not. I don't want to work with one medium, one paint. I just want to be able to change them. I don't know what's happened there. Obviously, I didn't wash my brush correctly, even though I try. But sometimes that happens, and I had a little bit of black color coming out of the brush. So I changed the brush. I sprayed a little bit of water, and then I added the shape to that water, to that stain with the brush. I use also a Mini Mister because Mini Mister is very cool, very small, and it gives me the control splatter or control water stain, whichever you call it. And those three colors, two of them are very similar, even though they are not the same, but they are very similar. And then I'm adding a Whale Watch Blue, which is a gray color. And then I'm gonna be drying it, but before I'll try that, I actually once again go over that with the Mini Mister, because when you add the paint to the paper and then you use Mini Mister, even though you add before water, but if you add a little bit more of water, you know, you're gonna get this. I'm not sure what the word is, but you know, your paint is gonna just go a little bit to the sides and make the small roads, kind of small paths, which are super cool. And that's what I like about watercolors or spray paints or powder paints, that it actually does that as opposed to acrylics, which they do not flow on the page. So I let it air dry. At the very end, I use a little bit of heat gun, and then I don't like this part of the page, this kind of part of the paint, which kind of fell from the paper, and it made this kind of long corridor to the outside. So here is my my thing to fix the problems, mono eraser from Tombow. And as you can see, I removed quite nicely the stain, which I didn't like. And you may add also, while you're drying the paint, you may add from time to time a little bit of color if you feel that one of the color is more prominent than the other, and just leave it air dry. I find air dry is the best way actually to get a little more interest, more like stains on the page, but you don't have to do it. You can of course use the heat gun if you prefer. And now I decide to actually use Magicals, add a tiny bit of water, not that much. And I'm gonna show you right now that my powder is not dissolved. I actually add I wouldn't paint with that. That's what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to paint with the powders, I would add a little bit more of water, but I wanted to stamp with the powder. And I wanted, because the cat has a small touch of blue and quite a big touch of red on him, I wanted to add to the background blue and red. And so I decided to make some stamping with the infusions. I could use a red ink, but I wanted to, not with infusions, with Lindy's Gang powders. So I wanted to use actually Lindy's Gang powders to make a little bit of grungy stamping. And I think I add still a little bit too much of the water, because I don't know, I think the image is not as clear as I would expect, even though when you do that, when you do this type of stamping with the powders, you have to expect that the stamped image is gonna be grungy, it's not gonna be very crispy, it's not gonna be very well visible. But I think I maybe add a little bit too much of the water, because you can see now the stamped image reacts a little bit on the paper, and it makes kind of a bigger stains instead of the image which is visible. But if you know me, you know I don't mind that much. So and maybe the color is too dark also for this blue, but I still wanted to leave it like that, wanted to have a red accents, wanted to make something a little bit different. And the grungy, of course. And now I'm gonna be adding also a little bit of black accents, because I think I've never done a page without black. No, I think I did, but I really, really do love black, and I find black is giving so much contrast. And sometimes when you're not happy with your page, it's enough if you add a little bit of black or a little bit of white if your page is too dark, and the page takes completely different aspect, and it looks so much better after that. So I usually incorporate a little bit of stamping with the black, and my go-to inks are always StazOn or VersaFine or Archival ink from Ranger. All depends on the ink. Before I didn't know that, but now I know that VersaFine is very precise ink for a very delicate, intricate stamping, even this one I'm using, you know, there are tiny numbers, so it's more visible, while Archival ink or StazOn is more for kind of a bigger stamping, like bigger images. And then I'm gonna add some splatter. It's been a while, I think, or maybe not, but I love my splatter, and I wanted to add a little bit of white to kind of make this red a little bit quieter, I'd say, because I find the red is quite prominent, I think, on the page, quite dark. And I love this doing this splatter with the water-soluble oil pastels from Prima. They are super cool, and as you can see, my white is already like halfway gone, And then I'm gonna add also a little bit of black accents, black splatter. The white is not super visible on the page like that when you're looking from it from far. But when you look on actual page, yes, you can see it. It changed a little in some places, the dark red color. Once again, with the hindsight, I would use red, which is a little bit brighter than this one. And I'm gonna do a frame, so this one is gonna be quite similar, this page, to the ATCs I've done already. This is the pen I was advised by Maremi Smolart. She is using it 4 years already. And it is quite nice. It is very, very thin. It has very fine line. And I didn't really use that so much with water. It reacts a little bit with water. But it writes on most of the surfaces. But this paper is quite grainy, and in places it was hard for me to write. Still, I fix it somehow. I'm doing my double, triple kind of frames, so I don't mind that much. But yes, it was a little bit still difficult to do it. And here we go. So that's my whole idea, that, there is this process which happens in this poor cat's head, and all the thoughts and formulas and magical science things are coming out of him. And he's a little bit mesmerized, I think, by the process. And as you can see, my DIGI cats, they have actually a lot of hair sticking out from everywhere, like drops of paint, falling from them. But that is impossible to actually, and of course the whiskers, but this is impossible to cut out nicely. So I am just cutting the figure of the cat, and then I'm adding with the pen a little bit of accents like that. It looks so much better on the page. And guys, yes, it's a little messy, my page, but I still love it. The cats are giving it so much really cool feeling, I think. And I'm gonna add, of course, my sentiments to that, just any sentiment, but I actually had this one. Now I'm gonna do something else. Yes, I added a little bit of lines coming out of his head, and I think that was also done for the just to diminish a little bit the harshness, I think, of the red lines, because as you can see, I'm putting it more or less on the red lines. And then I came up while looking for the, I think there is going to be something else I'm doing. I'm still adding some stamping. I'm sorry, I actually did that page yesterday or the day before, but I am a little going down with the flu, I think, and I just don't know. I don't think clearly, I think. But yes, I took my really silly words and I just fell on this one word. I put it aside and I was trying to look for something else, and then I came back to it because I think it matches so well this page. And I just chose between the black version or white version, and it's like a irony. So I decided to use the word simplicity. This cat looks a little bit scared with what's happening in his head, and I love so much when my pages tells a kind of a story, and the end of this story, or maybe the conclusion of the story, is it's the sentiment I'm putting. So I quite often do that I try to put, even if you don't understand, usually there is a story to my pages, and the sentiment is like the conclusion of it. And I added a little bit of white splatter once again to cover a little bit of this red. As you can see, I'm not a big fan of this red on this page, but still I think it looks much nicer actually with this white splatter. And it's a quite nice pen. I'm gonna give you a link in the description box below because it's really worth it. Even though you have to shake it, it's writing really nicely. And I've been told by many of you that this is actually the white pen you are going for. So guys, that would be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for leaving me comments, for sharing this video with your friends. And I'll be very happy if you have a look in my shop. And I wish you, as always, a really, really beautiful day. See you soon. Bye bye.